Okie dokie. So here we are with another installment of the 2008 Phillies Super Advanced as played replay. It's been a while, so pardon me as I'll probably take a little bit of time to get back into the swing of things, but hopefully this comes off pretty well as we try to get back to the baseball thing here. Been playing a lot of second season football, and obviously the History Maker Golf has been on the channel some. But let's get started here with this game. It's going to be this. So basically, we just hit the All-Star break, and I could potentially do some stats right now, but instead I'm going to just play the game because I kind of want to get this wrapped up. Game 97. So the All-Star break just happened. So they come out of it and they play Florida down at Dolphin Stadium. And it'll be Jamie Moyer for the Phillies against Ricky Nolasco for the Marlins. And your lineup for the Phillies tonight: Jimmy Rollins will be at shortstop, Shane Victorino in center, Chase Utley second base, Ryan Howard first, Pat Burrell in left, Jeff Jenkins in right field, Pedro Feliz at third, Carlos Ruiz catching, and the ageless one, Jamie Moyer on the mound, lefty. High Mark and High Tribe fan. And then for the Marlins, it's Hanley Ramirez at short, Jeremy Hermida in right, Jorge Cantu third base, Mike Jacobs at first, Dan Uggla at second, Josh Willingham in left, Cody Ross in center, John Baker catching, and on the mound, and he will start on the mound here for the Marlins. It will be Ricky Nolasco. So we got righty and lefty, so I've got to keep that straight. So if I make a mistake, don't be surprised. Jimmy Rollins against Nolasco, and right off the bat against the righty, 1-9, and that's going to be good. The Phillies in real life won this game 4-2. This is a 1-15 triple for Rollins. A great roll, and it's a 1. He will triple to start the game. What a way to lead off. I also forgot to check the weather chart. So for Florida, it's a night game. 16 night. It's going to be bad conditions, 5s and 4s. Fives on the singles and 4s on the homers. So the park itself is pretty tough one to hit from. So hit out of the park anyway. Shane Victorino, center fielder. Rollins at third, nobody out. And that'll be a ground ball to second A. Let me see. I got to look at my fielding or the ground ball result chart. Third base, ground ball A, 5. If hit the second base, batter out, runners advance a base. So they did not move in, so that will be an RBI for Victorino. And it'll be 1-0 Phillies and 1 out. Chase Utley now against a lefty, 6-8, and another nice roll for the Phils here. 1-13, and another 1. Oh boy, the green D20 is rolling true tonight. All right, so Chase Utley at second, Howard at the plate, back-to-back lefties here for the Phils. 1-5. Well, that's a 1-3 double chance unless they get another solid here from the D20. It'll be fly ball to left, and there is a 20. So extremes here. So that's the second out as it dies short of the track. And here's Pat Burrell. 3-12. And 312, that would be a 1-5 single chance. And it's another 20. Boy, we are getting... let me see something. Yeah, I guess we're on polar ends here, so that's kind of weird. Line out to short, but 1 run across, and we'll go to the bottom of the first. I may need to take a short break here for personal reasons, about maybe the 3rd or 4th inning. Thanks, ID Jester. Things are good. Just trying to find time for everything. Hanley Ramirez, that'll be against a righty, 6-11, and that will be a grounder to Phillies, and that will be out number 1. Hermida, there's a 6-9 against the lefty, and that'll be a fly ball to left field. 2 outs as Burrell makes the catch. And now Jorge Cantu, who has been a Phillies killer so far in our season here, 5-7 against a righty. That will be a walk. Cantu will try to get a lead here. 9 won't be able to do that. So Mike Jacobs with runner at first and 2 outs. 4-12 against the lefty, ballpark home run. 1-4. So Moyer's hoping this thing goes high. And it's a 12 that will be caught at the track by Jenkins. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. Oh, you did? I didn't see it, huh? I'll have to go back and take a look. Yeah, I've been just been real busy. Sure everybody gets into those phases, and I'll tell you what, with some of the games, like I got second season for Christmas, and it's a great game, but it just takes a while. Okay, so Nolasco back out there, Jeff Jenkins, and that'll be a fly ball to left on the 3-7, and that'll be caught by Willingham. Pedro Feliz, and he'll draw a walk with 1 out. Can't steal. Carlos Ruiz. Against a righty, 4-8 strikes him out. And now Moyer, the pitcher spot. Pitcher's hitting card number 1. And 6-10, he's batting from the left. That'll be a fly ball. That'll be caught by Cody Ross, and he retires the side. Hi, Larry. 1-0 Phillies going to the bottom of the 2nd frame. Dan Ugla will lead off here. Then Willingham and Ross. And that will be a fly ball to center. 3-7. Tough break there for Ugla, as he just misses a home run roll. 1 out. Willingham against a righty. That'll be a strikeout. Goes down looking. 2 outs. Cody Ross against a righty. 6-6. A 1-7 single. And it's a 3. So 2 out. First hit of the game. Ross will try to get a lead here. 6. He needed a 5. So it'll be John Baker with 2 outs and a runner at first. A 3-4 against a lefty, and he goes down swinging. Runner stranded at first, going to the 3rd. Still a 1-0 lead for them Phillies. Beatles, this seems like kind of a late hour for you. So I got about 10 minutes before I'm going to have to take a short break to do the honors as far as my children go. Jimmy Rollins leading off the 3rd here against Nolasco, and he will not duplicate the triple. That'll be a grounder to Jacobs, and Jacobs will run Not very fast, but he does beat out Rollins on the hot shot. 1 out. Shane Victorino. And that's a sharp grounder to short and a nice throw by Hanley Ramirez to retire Victorino and Chase Utley with 2 outs. And is this going to sneak past? That was a 2-6. Will it sneak past Jacobs down the line? And yes, it will. 1-8, and it's a 7. So, man on there for Ryan Howard. Utley will try to get a lead in the 10. Oh, but he could get picked off 1-6, and he's picked. It is a 1-6. 1-6. He's back safe, if I recall correctly. Pickoff, second steal rating, low, back. So if it's below it, if it's at or below, back, no. So he gets in safely, just barely. So, but no, can't get a lead there. Gets away with that. So here is Ryan Howard with 2 outs. And a 3-5 will be a strikeout to end the inning. So still can't get anything done. That was the third hit for the Phillies in the game. No runs to show for it, though, and we'll go to the bottom of the inning, and it'll be the pitcher to lead. Jerry Ball. I'm going to play a little Jerry Ball, sending that pitcher through to the 14th inning. Nolasco. Pitcher's hitting card number 2, actually, right? Yeah, 110. That'll be a strikeout. Hanley. And a 2-5 is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it'll be Jeremy Hermida. Against a lefty 5-8, and that will be trouble. Triple on a 1-2, and it's a 1, so Hermida will get a triple here at Dolphin Stadium. And so with 2 outs, Jorge Cantu could tie it up here with a base hit. And a 1, that could be a potential wild pitch. 1-2 for Moyer. 10, so no wild pitch. We're going to re-roll on Cantu. 1-8 against a lefty, and guess what? That's going to be a grounder to short, and Moyer avoids trouble there as Rollins is able to make the stab and make the throw, and Howard makes the grab. So still no runs for the Marlins. Phillies, this is an important series here. The Phillies are 5 games back. Actually, 5.5 games back of Florida in the NL East. Looking to try and gain ground. Pat the bat, top of the 4th. 210 ballpark home run. Again, this is a tough one for a ballpark homer. Needs a 1-4. And it is going to stay in the park. And it'll be caught by Willingham. 1 out. Jeff Jenkins. And he strikes out. Second strikeout for Nolasco, and 2 down, Pedro Feliz. And that will be a 1-2-3 inning for Nolasco as Jacobs beats him to the bag. Bottom of the 4th on the way. And it will be the cleanup man, Jacobs, the guy who just took care of that last out. He'll be leading off for the Marlins against Moyer, lefty-lefty matchup. And he is going to strike out. Moyer continuing to have one of his better outings. Dan Uggla. And against a righty 4-9, 1-7 ballpark home run. And a 7, it is gone. Dan Uggla ties the ball game with the cannon shot. And that's knotted at 1 now. Josh Willingham. .65 against a righty. That'll be a fly ball to right for out number 2, Moyer. recovers from that, and Cody Ross, another 6-5. I swear I shook him up, but that will be the same result, but 1 run puts it all square going to the 5th. Okay. So Ruiz and then Moyer and Rollins. Here is Chooch against the righty. And Nolasco gets his 3rd strikeout. Gets the better of him. 1 out. Moyer up against the lefty. That'll be he'll hit a shallow fly to left. He'll be caught by Willingham for out number 2. Tries to turn around on it, but can't really catch up to it. So 2 outs. Jimmy Rollins tripled in the 1st. And batting from the left side, that'll be a fly ball to center, a tough play for Cody Ross. He has a 3 range, but he will get to it, and he's going to make the play for out number 3. So, moving right along, bottom of the 5th, and the bottom of the order for the Marlins. Here is Baker. Lefty-lefty matchup, 1-6, and he walks. So, not the ideal result there for Moyer. Nolasco, he'll be a B bunter. He's an A rated, but they'll expect it. So, trying to move Baker up on the bunt. And that is a 4 for a B bunter. He may have a chance to beat this out. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's speed. Batter lays down a great bunch and has a chance to beat it out. Roll the 20. So it's 1 to 10. If it's a 1 through 10, it's a single. And it's a 13, he will be out. 6 means it'll be a 5 to 4 sacrifice. Moyer, fortunate there, could have been big trouble. Hanley Ramirez. And a 1-8 against a lefty. That's a 1 to 4 single. Grounder to second would move the runner up. That will be a play by Utley. Runner gets to third. Baker does. Could score on a wild pitch, passed ball, or base hit by Hermida. Moyer wants to take care of Hermida here to lefty. 5-9 against a lefty, and that's a grounder to second, and he does escape the inning. With no runs surrendered. So, try to get the top of the 6th in here before I have to take a little gonna have to suspend things a bit for a short rain delay. Shane Victorino. Batting from the left, 6-4, grounder to Ramirez, 3 E24. He'll get there. Let's see, 6 on an E24. And that's an error. So that's a break for the Phillies, E6. Victorino will try to get a lead. Now, the thing is, Nolasco is pretty good at holding runners, -3. Baker +1, so that would be a 1 to 14 chance. They're going to hold Victorino, but he's going to, let's see. Phillies are going to run hit and run with Utley. And that is a 1-8. So we look off of the hit and run chart, 8. And that will be a grounder to second, C, which is good because if we had gone off the regular chart, would have been a double play ball. So because Victorino starts, they get away with that, and that's 1 out. Ryan Howard. Let's do this. 4-4 against the lefty. Fly ball to center field again. Cody Ross, a 3 range and an E1. The 3 and almost the 2, that would have been disaster. But 12, he should get to it. And a 13, I think, yeah, he'll definitely get to that. But let's see. 3 and 12, that's an F2. Not going anywhere on second base. That'll be caught for the out. And Otley will return to the bag. And here is Pat Burrell with 2 outs. Runner at second. Victorino. 6-9 against a righty, and he strikes him out. So can't manufacture a run off the hit and run. And I'll get through the bottom of the inning here, then I'll go put the kids to bed. So here is heart of the order, Jorge Cantu. Moyer, this is an important stretch. He's got to get through this. 5-7 righty, that's a walk. Could have been a lot worse. Of course, now you got Jacobs, who's another real potential problem. Let's see. Cantu's going to try to get a lead here. He needs a 5, gets a 7, so he can't. Here's Jacobs. Potential wild pitch. 1-2. That's a 16, so no wild pitch. 1-8. No, 1-2 double. That's an 18. That'll be a fly ball to center. That'll be out number 1. No advancement from Cantu. Dan Ugla. 3-8. That is trouble. 1-11. It'll be gone. And it is gone. A 2-run home run for Ugla, and the Marlins take advantage of the Phillies' inability to put together any more hits, and they take a 3-1 lead. So Josh Willingham, 3-7. That's another walk, and Moyer is now starting to give up some hits. They're going to get Condrey warming up. So not only giving up hit, not giving up that many hits, walks are killing him right now. So Willingham, that is the second home run for Ugla. I forgot he got a home run earlier. And I think who missed one earlier? Maybe Willingham, but yeah, that's let's see, Moyer with 1 out. Willingham will try to get a lead. Needs a 7, gets a 5. The other guy needed a 5 and got a 7. So Ross and Moyer is past his point of weakness here. So 2-5. That is going to be a fly ball to right field. That'll be caught for out number 2. And John Baker. Sounds like a bowler's name. 3-6 strikes out. So Moyer gets, oops, not a 0. 2. Yep, Ugla providing offense. And I'm going to have to take a short hiatus here as I go and take care of some stuff I have to do. It won't be long, but be right back. So we'll be right back. 3-1 Marlins in the lead. Down South Florida. We shall see. I know who I'd be putting my money on right now, but that's just because I don't have a whole lot of confidence in these Phillies, but we'll see. You never know. Jeff Jenkins leading off against Nolasco. Nolasco been pretty good so far, and that'll be a grounder right back to the mound. And that'll be out number 1, Pedro Feliz. I know I don't sound like a very ardent fan, but this is kind of what happens with the Phillies. Carlos Ruiz against a righty 5-3 grounder to first. Jacobs a 5-17, so maybe a glimmer of hope here for a base hit, but no, not with a 17. That will be a grounder to first that will be fielded. He is an E17, so again, another chance at a potential out. And let's see, I mean, getting out of the final out. What is he? E15, or no, E17, and you add it up to 13, and he makes the play. So that will be covered by Nolasco. No runs, no hits, no errors, and the 7th inning stretch. Hello. All right, so they will bring Condrey in. Moyer's day is complete. And let's see. Well, and the Marlins are going to bring up a pinch hitter for Nolasco. Nolasco goes 7 innings. Pretty good in those. Gave up 1, 2, 3 hits in the process and 1 error. So, against a righty, they're going to go with, we'll save Lugo for if comes up later. It'll be Alfredo Amizaga, a switch hitter. All right, so Amizaga against Condrey. Leading off here in the bottom of the 7th, and a 6-2 batting from the left. 1-14 single chance, so that is going to be an out. Liner to second, and helps the Phillies there. That'll be the first out. Hanley Ramirez against a righty 6-7, a grounder to Utley. X2 E14. He gets to it. 14 on an E14. Makes the play. For out number 2, Jeremy Ermita. Against a lefty 6-8, that'll be a 2-out double. That brings up Jorge Cantu. You're eventually going to get burned here by these Marlins if you keep giving them chances. And here is a chance for a power hitter. Cantu, 6-9, and that is more trouble. 1-6 homer. This is going to score another run. Didn't shake him well enough, and I'm going to pay for that. That will be a home run. It is gone. 2-run shot. Jorge Cantu. You dilly-dally with these guys, and they make you pay. 2 outs, and you give up a slack base hit and to Hermida, and Mike Jacobs now. What is that? 5-1, and Jacobs with another single, back-to-back hits, and that will bring up Dan Ugla, going for his 3rd. Can he get it? That's a 4-3 against a righty. Fly ball to right. Jeff Jenkins, 3-17. He'll get to it. And he will. Let's double check on that. 11 on 9. I think he makes the play there. Sure does, but that is kind of too little too late there. 2 runs on 3 hits. 3 home runs here in this game by the Marlins have been the difference. And the Marlins, with a 4-run lead, will get Doug Wachter warming up. And they are going to leave Amizaga in. Oops, that's the wrong pile. They're going to leave Amizaga in to play second base. Ugla, maybe not extremely happy about being lifted for a defensive replacement, but that's what happens sometimes. So let's do the. So we're going to put the pitcher right there. This is going to be Wachter. Okay. Let's dump those. I want to make sure. So he was 3E20 and a 15 runner. All right. So we're whoa, what did I do? I grabbed the wrong pile and put it in the wrong spot. So Willingham, Ross, Baker, Amizaga. All right. Okay, well, they're going to pinch hit for Condrey, and it will be against Wachter. It'll be Greg Dobbs, situational lefty, or left-handed platoon guy, we will say. So here we go. Top of the 8th, Dobbs, 4-8 against the lefty. Well, this could be a start. 1-18 single. And there you go. Liner to second base, 1 out. Jimmy Rollins, 1-4. That'll be a ballpark single chance. Fat chance there, 1-5. It's a 9. That's a liner to second base for another one. And Shane Victorino, 6-3, batting from the left side. Ballpark home run, 1-4. It'll be an out. So that will be to right field. No runs, no hits, no errors. Wachter will stay in the game, barring a hit around by the Marlins, which is always possible. Condrey is out of the game, and it will be, who's coming up? Willingham. I'm going to bring in Durbin. Well, Phillies have to hope that they can pick up one of the other 2 games of this series, which is possible. But, you know, I think they may have Kendrick and Eaton going, which aren't exactly, you know, Seaver and Koufax or anything. So Josh Willingham against Durbin, batting from the right, and Durbin's going to give up another home run here. 1-11. It's gone. Willingham. Marlins have been torching the Phillies. That's 6-1. Get it out of your system, guys. Cody Ross, 4-8 against a righty. That'll be a fly ball to center, 1 out. John Baker might be the only Marlin. Oh, Ramirez doesn't have a hit. I was going to say might be the only Marlin without a hit, but The pitcher also doesn't. So Baker against a lefty, 5-3. Here's a 1-5 that will probably hit. That's a 9. He is a lefty, so that'll be the second base. Utley makes the catch, and Amizaga staying in the game. Nobody on, 5-7 against a lefty. Walks. Phillies pitchers not taking the easy road here. Amizaga, with a 6-1 lead, he's going to stay put. Could try and take a bag here, but 3-12, and maybe he should have. There's a single. Of course, if he had gotten to second, that would be the anti-clutch. So, Hermida, 2 outs. 4-5, lefty grounder to second, and only 1 run allowed by Durbin on 2 hits, walk, 2 left, and we'll go to the top of the 9th. Phillies are not looking too good here. Let me move this over a little bit. Get it into your purview here. All right, so, but it will be the middle of the lineup. It'll be Utley, Howard, and Burrell. So, and they get to Jenkins. They could bring Worth in as a pinch hitter. So, not out of hope, but Utley really needs to get something started here against Wachter. Against a lefty, 6-6. That is a 1-5 triple. A double will do. Brings up Ryan Howard. That's a 3-7. Well, that'll be a strikeout. That'll be 1 out. Pat the bat Burrell with Utley at second. And a 1-10 will be a walk. So, let's see. It's, what is that? 6-1. So the one more guy has to reach, I think, before you can get to the point of, well, Jenkins is coming out, but I think you have to get to the, let's see, the winning, the tying run. I think in theory they could get their closer going here. It'll be Kevin Gregg. It'll be Jason Worth here. So, first and second, 1 away, Jason Worth against Wachter. Anybody else reaches, they're going to bring in Kevin Gregg. 6-6, and against a righty, 1-15 double. And it's a 19. That'll be a fly ball to left field, out number 2. And that's going to mean Pedro Feliz is the last hope for the Phillies. First and second, 2 away. 3-4, ballpark single chance, needs a 1-5 to keep this game alive. And it almost was a 2. Instead, it rolls to 12. That means it will be a liner to short, and that will be it. So they couldn't get anything going in the 9th. Phillies fall by a final of 6-1. Ricky Lasco will be the winner of this game for the Marlins. Loser will be Jamie Moyer. No save opportunity there, and that's a disappointing way to start the series, but what can you do? Maybe the Phillies will pull it back together for either Game 2 or Game 3 of this. They have, I think all 3 games were relatively close in real life, so you never know, but that's okay. Let's get things turned around here in just a second. I'm not using my normal... Oh, wait. Wrong button. Not using my other streaming setup, so bear with me. Let's hope this will stay right there. You're welcome, Jerry. Let's see. Have I ever considered doing a 1915? Nope, not really. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, S. Pizer. And there's the itinerant hobbyist. Yeah, well, it was out of hand, but it wasn't. Yeah, ID Jester. I'll try to get some more of these games in. I need to play some out offline, but we are getting close to game 100, which is good. Phillies dropped to they're a game above 500 now, so they've started to peter out a bit. Whenever they start facing the NL East is when things start to go kaplooey, and the NL East was relatively competitive then. The Braves weren't so bad. The Marlins weren't so bad. The Mets weren't so bad. Nationals were kind of bad, but it was a tough division. It's not like you had the Pirates and the Cubs were stinking then. The Reds were kind of stinking then. It's not like you had three teams like the Central did. The Astros had kind of started to pull their thing. They did have some guys come in, but it was just there was a lot of very kind of tough as nails teams in the NL East. Just kind of scrappy teams. Marlins were pretty scrappy from what I remember. These guys were never say die. And then, you had a guy like Brian Schneider kind of like swap between those teams that they just loved the fact he seemed to be very content to kick the Phillies in the nether regions every time he got a swing at the plate. But yeah, Jerry, you've you've been supporting our channels. It'd be neat to see you get a stream going. Definitely some guys putting together some stuff around here. If you saw Stratomatic Delaware put out Kevin Fillingham, I think was his name. I didn't get a chance to watch the stream too much. I made a couple videos today, which is more than I've done recently. But there's a couple guys out there that are have just kind of started up channels, and you just have to go and search on the various games, and you'll find it. Because suffice it to say, all of us who start streams, we're going to go through. We're going to go through periods where we are like super productive and doing lots of games, and then there's going to be times when life creeps into the picture. And Combat Painter, I did mention him in a video a few days ago, maybe a couple weeks ago actually. He's been putting out a lot of content. Does anybody do short season regularly? Oh, neat. So Combat Painter is going right now. So, I think, I'm not sure, Spicer, I'm not sure if, when you're saying short season, if you mean second season, or if you're talking something else. Maybe there's a game called Short Season that I missed. I was trying to read back through, and I don't. Short season football. Yeah, second season. I've I've been playing it. It's an intense game. So I might as well just go ahead and throw out there, because I can't, I don't know. See, I have an idea. I have an idea for football, but I don't know. I feel like I'm being a delinquent if I keep saying like, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this," and then I never accomplish any of them. Hey, how about that? There's my you know what I mean? I don't like starting stuff and not getting it finished. And the thing is, my projects have almost always been multi-month projects, something that's going to take a long time. And the project I'm thinking of with second season would be another one of those types. And given the fact that second season to begin with is kind of an odyssey of a game, you know, it's something that you really have to you kind of have to just let it sit in there. See, I've done it on a podcast. I'd rather just come up with what I produce. Yeah, yeah. That's something. I've got Tenacious 2.0 that I haven't touched in like 6 months. I've got Tenacious 2.1 probably is what I called it. Maybe that's with History Maker. That's been sitting there for a bunch of months. I've got this History Maker golf stuff. I've got this Phillies replay predates both of the other guys. And then I've been doing second season in sort of this half-hearted, not committing to anything, but kind of starting to play games in sort of a full season replay. I've been sort of picking through the week 1 games from 2016. Hi, Jeremy. Yeah, because I know that there were some people who were probably interested in the Tenacious Leagues with the Yankees and the Pirates, and the Mets were in that league, 10-team league, and we kind of got about maybe not quite a third of the way into it. Those two leagues, if carried to completion, would be 270 games each. It's part of the problem with these projects. This one here, the Phillies one, is 162, and that's not counting if they make the playoffs, which at this point it doesn't look like they're probably going to. Maybe things will change. They've gone on a hot streak, and it seems like anytime they catch the NL East, they just kind of like start petering out. So I'm not getting my hopes up. I did there for a little while, and I think I just need to accept what's going on, which is just that they're the way that the strat mechanism works, their cards probably just aren't able to reproduce consistently a 90-win season or whatever they had. I forget off the top of my head. It's around 90. I don't think it's going to reproduce that. It might get 86. Wouldn't surprise me if they get 86. But yeah, Jerry. And I go between. Yeah, we got Carlos Santana. I was hoping we'd get Rob Thomas while we were at it, but or Neil Schoen, but it's the way it goes. Yeah, thanks, Larry. I mean, you just need to have some passion about something. I mean, that's what it's about. Anybody who's here thinking about starting a channel, or who has and needs ideas, watching this after the fact, just whatever it is, just make sure. I mean, part of the thing with a long project is that the passion can, I think the first project, the passion is easier to hold on to because you're still in that sort of interrogatory phase where you're sort of questioning what's going to happen. You're genuinely surprised when things happen. Maybe you've never had a ninth inning comeback and it happens and you're like, ooh. And then you get to your second or third or fourth project and maybe you're on your fourth because your second and your third, like mine, have sort of like, they're just different beasts and there's been challenges with them. And so, that's, and I've people of, many of you who are watching, have provided the feedback about passion, and I not only agree, but, I appreciate your advice. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to get, agitated about the Phillies being crappy in this replay. I think when things start getting a little, when things get closer to negativity than to just plain old, you know, heat of the moment, irritation or, spite towards the way things. I mean, tonight there was a little bit of that. We had some chances there, and the D20, we had a 19 on a 1-18. I mean, those are the types of things that can make you wanna make you want to do something that you shouldn't do or say something you shouldn't do. Jerry likes baseball. I like baseball. I have a lot of projects. Beatles, I appreciate your feedback. All I can say is keep spreading the word. I'll mention that, and this is not because Tabletop Earl and I, we aren't really out to like make a buck. We can't live on anything that we make, but YouTube just sent us emails. I got one for my channel, the Tenacious Strat channel, that, because I don't have 1,000 subscribers, basically all of the sort of smaller YouTube video makers, we're not going to be able to monetize anything anymore unless you get over 1,000 subscribers. So, it was nice every once in a while. You'd have a look and be like, oh, wow. Some people watch. Some advertisers are willing to give us a buck or two, but I guess now they're going to go ahead and give that money to, the guys who take their phones to the suicide village or whatever the heck it's called and show people dying, killing themselves and stuff. So, that's good for them. I'm fortunate to have a job that I enjoy and that pays the bills, and so I will keep making videos whether there's anything like that or not. But it's unfortunate to see there are probably some people that I tell you what, it was nice to think to myself that I might be able to be able to get another set off of some YouTube earnings, and someday maybe we'll get there, but it's okay. We don't do it for the money, and when you get to 1 million subscribers, I'm sure you do it for the money to an extent. Why wouldn't you? You're probably making 20 grand, 30 grand off of that, and you get a part-time job and you do that, and it's probably, but I'm just peeling back a layer here. I'm not like super complaining. I have lodged a complaint on Twitter to the YouTube people. One person in particular who's in charge of the gaming stuff. They probably just ignored it. I would just as soon it help someone who's kind of starting out, and there are lots of hobbies like ours that are, um, can use the exposure, and I think it helps keep people in the game when they feel like they are going to, have the chance of getting a buck or two every. I mean, and it's not it's not every month that you get a buck or two. It's like you've got to wait a few months and then you get some money. But just there are plenty of hobbies that are more expensive, and this isn't cheap. But all of us are putting money towards it. So anyway, I kind of hope that they reverse it, mostly just for others who are starting out. Like I said, I'm middle aged. I'm not in bad shape. Although my kids are getting keep walking up those stairs towards the college age, and then anyway, yeah, Jerry, thanks. I saw you put that on there. Back to just quick tabletop stuff, just to close out. Just appreciate everybody who supports our channel. Again, we don't do this to, we're not making any money off of it. It's just, I would, if I wanted to make money, I would be at Best Buy or, a music shop, getting a job doing something, selling guitars, or that would pay me at a greater rate. This isn't about that. It's about spreading the love that I have for this game, for these games, to others, and I hope that's what comes across here, and I hope that's what comes across. I think it does on just about everybody else's channel. And maybe the more that we soliloquize, if that's a word, more we orate on sort of the background stuff about this, maybe that's not so good. But I mean, I also want to keep it real, and I don't want to hide my feelings. And honestly, it's been like a week or so since I even put out a video. So my first tabletop game, and how old was I? That's a great question. Thanks for taking me out of a subject that was a little, I don't know. It's fine. I think I've mentioned it somewhere before. I would say say it was probably Charlie Brown's All Stars. I also had this card game that I'd love to get my hands on. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I think the first, I don't know. I had a few, and it's funny because I don't have them come to mind until like later on. And the part of it is that I was just when I had them, I was too darn young to really understand much about them. So, but I think the Charlie Brown All Stars was really neat because it was right around the age level that I was, so I understood it, and it was great. I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, or maybe younger than that. But that was because I had like this. Was it the Tudor football? I had a football game that was like super complicated. I'd love to actually pick it up again. Maybe I should probably scour eBay for it. There was a neat football game that I had that was like very intense and very but the Charlie Brown one, and I had this card game that was from War and Paper Products. I had two of them. It was baseball and football. And it was I think it was the type. Actually, in the second season, the fast action cards kind of remind me of that in a way, except on these cards, I think it had maybe the positions or things like that. Itinerant Hot played tabletop challenge football with the spring that bounced up and down to give the play result. Neat. I mean, that's my son here. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Let me go get this real quick. So, I guess it was maybe Christmas tree shops. They were selling these for, I don't know, maybe 20. I don't know. My wife picked this up for my son. It's All American Baseball. It's he liked it for a while. It's not the most sophisticated thing in the world. And it's got a little magnet to help direct the pitch and stuff like that. But yeah, that's but that's not quite the same thing as what we do. Avalon Hill, that could be. I've heard that name before. Let me see. Pardon me while I'm gonna have to jump off of the comments here for a second. I want to look this up, and then I really should probably sign out of here because scuzz. Let's see, Tudor football. That seemed to be the thing that I was. Is that what it's called? No, that's not it. That's not the one. That's the electric football games. What's that football? Football tabletop. Yeah, boy, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Head-to-head baseball. Wow, that's awesome. Coleco. It was from the 70s. Game. Cards. How about that? If I can find a picture of it, maybe that would help. I don't want football cards, no. Oh well, I gotta find it. That's such a fun. It was an interesting game. It's very. Maybe let's go to Board Game Geek and see. Football. Darn. Okay. That's not it. It's got second season on the list. How about that? I really want to find this. It was such a neat game. At some point, I will get it again. I can see the box. My word, there's so many of them. Never gonna find it, am I? I've seen it on Board Game. It's not Football Strategy, right? No, that's not it. It was so neat. What is it? I guess I need to give up because I keep hogging. Oh, that's it. That's it. It's called Thinking Man's Football. Let me take it here. This up at a yard sale. So, I mean, this is what the game looked like. Okay. That's, yeah. Again, I was like so young when I had it that, I can bear. Another neat thing that I had that was in a similar vein. I don't know if you guys ever saw this. There was a game that you could buy that had like these tablets that had like the magnetic pencil that you would write something on and then you could pull it off. And so what you were supposed to do is you were supposed to guess the plays as they happened in the football game on your television. And then the trouble was is that I could never get any of my family to play it. Like my brother was 5 years younger than me, so he would have been probably 8 or 9 and didn't quite understand. But this would like give you points if you predicted an interception or a fumble, or you could go for fewer points. You could select maybe a run left, a run right, run middle, pass short. There's like different levels of stuff that you would select, and you would earn points for that. I always thought that was neat until I didn't have anybody to play with. VCR football. No, I don't recognize that. But one thing I did have, I had a game that had like a VCR tape with that was golf, and they had maybe divided into, I want to say into corners, like 4 corners. They had different shots that were happening. And basically it may have had 18 holes that were from like sort of the best 18 holes in golf or whatever they would say it was. Yeah, Jerry, I know you keep saying see you later, and we just stick around. But you would play the hole and you'd move the so like you'd drive and so you'd play the tape, and then there'd be something else that happened on it. All American Football. Let's see. Monday Night Football. And then there's ABBA. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of games out there, and a lot of them are older, and the sort of the nerd in me thinks second season. I mean, and my son has even said it because we tried playing that, and so he's played Madden, and he's like, I want to run a power, power O run, a pulling left guard or whatever, and it's like, well, you have to select the outside run for that. I mean, it's not really an inside run. It's more of it's a little bit kind of like an out. I mean, it's sort of an inside, but it's not like a dive or anything like that. But it's like I'd love to see, and like with the second season there, some of the differences, like the defenses, it's understandable. They have 3-4 versus 4-3. That's fine, but NFL strategy. I'll take a look at that after I get off of here. But what was I saying? Like I don't understand why in like the cases of Baltimore and Cincinnati they have the SB having the running back as opposed to the FB on other teams. I'm not sure what. I mean, I've been trying to decipher what that is, if that's a certain offensive style. I mean, I guess I should look it up. Maybe they have more of a. But then I looked like I thought maybe more of a West Coast, but it's not really West Coast either. So I don't know. I'm almost wondering if it has to do with the FB is supposed to be a higher percentage of runs versus passes, and so. But I don't know. I just don't know. All right, I got to sign off. I've been chatting here for a long time with you guys. People are going to look at this video and say, wow, it's a 80-minute video for a baseball game. It's like we were done after 40 minutes. But thanks a lot, everybody. Hang in there. Comment if you have any interesting board games from your childhood that you want to bring up. Maybe some of us have played them and have some thoughts on them. So good night. And usually the SB runners are mainly blockers. I guess you're right about that. But anyway, thanks a lot and good night.